إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. واشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. واشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله بالهدى والدين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. وقال سيدنا مصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. وأن شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد، فيقول الله تبارك وتعالى: ما كان إبراهيم يهوديا ولا نصرانيا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما وما كان من المشركين. Our brothers and sisters in Islam, our praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كل عام وأنتم بخير. This is the day of the Eid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Salat al-Eid, accept the sacrifice of Eid, and give us the understanding of the meaning of this holiday. This is the Khutbah al-Jumu'ah. The Sunnah of our Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam was that on the day of Eid, that Jumu'ah becomes an optional prayer for the individual. But it's something that should be enjoined upon in the Masjid. And this was the way of the Sahaba. After him, the Khulafa al-Rashideen, they would hold the Salat al-Jumu'ah in the Masjid al-Jami', in the central masjid. But it wasn't incumbent on people like normal time. But yet today is a day of holiday, so the khutbah should be short anyway, but it may be even shorter, so you can go ahead and continue with your festivities, but we can't move forward unless we first give you the advice of having taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah says, ittaqullaha haqqa taqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Earlier this morning, when we were talking in Khutbah al-Eid, we mentioned the hadith, the verse in the Quran about birr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا تنال البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون, that you will never obtain birr. And birr is righteousness. Even got a nice righteous sound, birr. You know, shar is evil, you know. Birr, you know. Birr wa taqwa, you know. Allah says in the Quran, ta'awanu ala al-birr wa taqwa wa la ta'awanu ala al-ithmi wal 'udwan. Help each other in righteousness and taqwa. But birr is when you do an act, it's an active terminology, you know, that you're doing something, it's birr. You know, you don't have birr in your heart, you have taqwa in your heart. In fact, the only place you can have taqwa is in your heart. So the Prophet said, at-taqwa hahuna, at-taqwa hahuna, at-taqwa hahuna. But birr is the doing of good deeds. It's doing the actions of birr. Iqam as-salah, ita' az-zakah. That's birr. Right? Ta'at is walidain, obeying the parents. You know, Iqram al-dayf, doing good to the neighbor. Iqram al-jar, doing good to the to the guest, and doing good to the neighbor. That's birr. That's birr. Birr is connected to you making some sacrifice. Because a jaza' min jins al-amal, as they said. as the ulama will say that the recompense is commensurate with the action. You know, we mentioned that part of Islam, part of the legacy of Ibrahim is struggle. There has to be some sacrifice. I don't care if you're rich or poor. If you're rich, sacrifice at your level. If you're poor, sacrifice at that level. Sacrifice is what reaps the great reward in Islam. If a person wants to figure out, how do I excel in my faith? How do I excel in my faith? One thing to be a Muslim, I'm just moping along as I go. Okay, alhamdulillah, because Allah says in the Quran, ثم أورثنا الكتاب الذين اصطفيناهم من عبادنا فمنهم ظالم لنفسه ومنهم مقتصد ومنهم سابق بالخيرات بإذن الله. There's three stages, types of Muslims Allah mentioned it. ظالم لنفسه. ظالم لنفسه, because the verse Allah says ثم أورثنا الكتاب الذين اصطفيناهم من عبادنا فمنهم ظالم لنفسه ومنهم مقتصد ومنهم سابق بالخيرات بإذن الله. He said, then we have inherited the book to those people on whom we have bestowed our grace from amongst our servants, and amongst them, he's talking about the believers. فَمِنْهُمْ ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ, the one that transgresses on himself. Zalim. Now, we all do some zulm. Everybody got some zulm. Zulm is wrongdoing, transgression. The minimal amounts of zulm is that you do zulm against yourself. You transgress yourself. This is why when the verse came down, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَلَمْ يُلْبِسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ. The verse came down, those people who believe and do not cloud their faith with transgression. And they said, Ya Rasulullah, مَنْ لَمْ يُظْلِمْ نَفْسَهُ, which one of us doesn't transgress on himself? Like, man, that's everybody. And the Prophet said, no, that's not what's meant in this verse. He says, we're talking about shirk. In the shirk, shirk, associating parts of the law, is considered the dhulm. It's considered the highest level of dhulm. Of dhulm al-azim. So everybody do some dhulm. But the one who's dhalimun li nafsihi is the one that this is your lifestyle. You believe, you Muslim, I'm Muslim, but you're living of a transgressive lifestyle. As they say, you living foul. You living foul. They even sound bad, living foul. ظالمين نفسه. ومنهم مقتصد. Muqtasid is someone which is moderate. Muqtasid meaning that you do what you're supposed to do, but you don't do what you're not supposed to do. You don't do no extra. The muqtasidun in our ummah are very few. It's rare. It's hard. You got some steady people like that. I don't do no wrong. I do everything I'm supposed to do. I cut it, That person don't take no chances. They don't do no big feats. They just say, I'm going to do the minimum. Like the man who the Prophet met in the desert. He said, Ya Rasulullah, out of 8, what do you think? If I pray, if I believe in Allah as the messenger, and I pray my 5 prayers, I pay my zakat, and I fast for Ramadan, will I go to Jannah? The Prophet said, yes, you will. He said, Wallahi, la azidu alayhinna wa la anqusa minhun. He said, I won't do anything. He says, Wallahi, I won't do any more than that. I won't do any less than that. And the Prophet ﷺ said that in sadaqah, if he's telling the truth, لَدَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ. He'll go to Jannah. He's a muqtasid. He was a desert dweller. You could be a muqtasid if you're a desert dweller. Like you could be a muqtasid if you're locked up. A lot of brothers who are incarcerated, they straight muqtasidun. Because you can't do nothing else, dude. What else you gonna do but make your 5 prayers? Yeah, I guess so. Pays the zakat out of this sort of books. But yeah, I guess you is gonna do all that. Yeah, I ain't gonna know how to. I guess not, dude. You in a 23-hour lockdown. How much around you gonna do? That's muqtasid. But when you find yourself in the midst of society, of people, places, things, issues, decisions, it's hard to be just muqtasid. Because you got temptation, you got challenges, you got threats, you got security issues, you got money issues. Dude in the desert, he got what he got. I got some goats, I got my camel, I got some water on the well, I know what I got. I ain't trying to buy no house, I got a tent. I ain't paying no mortgage, I ain't paying no car payment. I might not see nobody for 3 months. I know how to challenges. I ain't stopping at the grocery store because they ain't got no grocery store. You can be able to touch it. But when you have to deal with life on life's terms, don't try to be no muqtasid. Because if you try to be a muqtasid, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, I ain't doing nothing else. Brothers, I'm telling you, I've been seeing this for many, many years. You fall. You will fall. The likelihood that you fall, if you're just trying to do the minimum standard in an environment as racy, as challenging as what we have today, no, you're gonna fall, man. You're gonna fall. You're gonna fall into the category of ظالمون لنفسي. I see it happen all the time, my brothers and sisters. All the time. You don't want to do nothing extra, okay. Matter of fact, you complain if you gotta do something extra. When they ask me to do extra, I'm just gonna do the minimum, huh? Alhamdulillah. But you forget about all the challenges, all the mistakes you're gonna make down the way. And then Allah says, وَمِنْهُمْ سَابِقٌ بِالْخَيْرَاتِ سَابِقٌ بِالْخَيْرَاتِ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. And amongst them is the one who strives to do good بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, by the permission of Allah. And that's the highest level. The person who strives, it don't mean that he's all good. That's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. He's talking about the people that strive. Why do we strive? Because striving is the point where, number one, you develop spiritual strength, foundation. Because you're striving. I ain't just doing it. I'm striving, brother. I'm trying to do more. You're going to still make mistakes. You're going to still have challenges. But your mistakes, your challenges is being offset by your striving. You're striving. You're putting out more. It's almost like a matter of mathematics. High output. Says he making a lot of this. Okay, it's like I'm trying to think of a real good analogy. Like a football player, quarterback. He has a high level of touchdowns. His passing yardage is 400 something every game. High completions. Well, he got a little bit more incompletes than the dude who got no completions. This dude only throw the ball 10 times. He got four completes. Just do the ball 100 times. Yeah, but 40 of those times they ain't catch. Yeah, but 60 of those times he got 10 yards or more. You understand what I'm saying? So this person, he doing this, Allah, he's striving with his zakat. He's striving with his salat. He's out there serving the community. He volunteering over here. He over there. He visiting relatives. He doing this to the neighbor. He feeding the poor. But he putting it out there. Yeah, but he still has some bad stuff coming. Yeah, he got a little bad stuff coming on the other end, but his output is high. His deed output is high. You got to keep in mind. Man ja'a bil hasanati falahu ashru amthaluha. Whoever come with one deed, you got 10 deeds on top of that. Remember, Allah says, "In al hasanati tudhibna sayyi'at." Barely the good deeds canceling out the bad deeds. So even though you still got bad deeds, you putting high output on the good deeds. So your good deeds is constantly canceling out the bad deed. If you just do one-on-one. That's why when the man came to the Prophet and said, "Ya Rasulullah, give me some advice." He said, "Ittaqillaha haythama kunt." He said, "Fear Allah no matter where you are. وَاتَّبِعْ سَيِّئَةَ الْحَسَنَةَ تَمْحُهَا." And follow every bad deed with a good deed because it'll wipe it away. وَخَالِقَ النَّاسَ بِخُلُقٍ حَسَنٍ. And treat people with good character. Why is the Prophet saying that? He ain't telling me to be no muqtasid. He ain't telling about this. Just do the minimum. He said, do what you can. He ain't say, look, brother, just do the minimum. Just do the minimum. Because if you just do the minimum, you a low output Muslim. Why is it important not to be a low output Muslim? Because, brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَمَنْ تَقُلَتْ مُوَازِينُهُ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مُوَازِينُهُ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ نَارٌ حَامِيَةٌ. Allah says, فَمَنْ تَقُلَتْ مُوَازِينُهُ, whoever's scale is heavy, فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ, he will be in a good life. وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, whoever's scale is light, فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ, his mother is Hawiyah. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ, and you know what that is? It's the blazing fire. So you do better being a high output Muslim. High output. Yeah, you're going to still make mistakes. Because the mistakes doesn't have to do with the output. That has to do with your own internal character, level of iman, action. You're going to slip up over here, slip over here. But you do high output. I'm going to tell you what high output means. Mentor Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Because there's very few things as meaningful as supporting the Prophet. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, خير القرن قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. He said the best generation is my generation. Then after that, those who follow them. After that, those who follow them. The reason that the Sahaba were considered the best generation was because they saw the Prophet ﷺ. You saw the Prophet. You supported the Prophet. You believed in the Prophet. Some of them fought with the Prophet. Some of them studied with the Prophet. Some of them served the Prophet. Anas ibn Malik used to bring the Prophet his sandals. Some of them defended the Prophet ﷺ. Some of them shield the Prophet in battle. Some of them travel with the Prophet. So it's a little, even some of the Sahaba, some of the scholars in the beginning would say, hey, you're not even a Sahabi unless you went with the Prophet for 2 years or more. So the majority of the scholars of Islam considered anybody to be a companion of the Prophet alayhi salam if they saw the Prophet while they were alive and the Prophet was alive and they believed in it. But that's high output. Badr, the Battle of Badr, that's high output. High output! Not just because you're fighting, just that when Badr was coming down, when the Meccans were coming from Mecca and they went out to the well of, this is named after a well called the Well of Badr. They already expected, because there was 313 Muslims. And over 1,000 of the mushrikeen from the Quraysh. So going into battle, they already had this may be it. We outnumbered 3-1. But, bismillah, we're going for it. See, this high output. Hell, they already know it. I'm going to have, every one of them got to fight 3 dudes. It's like that. Yeah. Yeah. No. 3-1. But we going for it. That's high output. High output Muslim. No matter what his sins might have been, that's still high output. He put it out. Badr was such a significant event that Jibreel, Mikael, Israfil came down and fought Badr. That's the only battle that Allah allowed the Malaika to come in the form of men and fight in. Because Allah would say Malaika in battle. Because He says, you know, وَرَسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ جُنُودًا وَجُنُودًا لَمْ تَرَوْهَا. We sent upon them an army that you don't see. So it's common for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send down Malaika in the midst of battle. But in Badr, they petitioned Allah, no, we want to go down as men with the sword and get down like, No, it's a true story. It was significant. It's high output. I'm not telling you to go out there and fight Badr. Badr's past. But I'm letting you know the value of high output Islam. When you're doing multiple things, high output for the sake of the deen. Because in one instance, Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a. Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a. He was a companion of the Prophet. He, shortly before the conquest of Mecca, he sent some information to the Quraysh. About the movements of the Muslims. So Jibreel came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, listen, you got somebody in the camp giving us some information. And he used to give it to this Ethiopian woman, and she used to go and, on the caravan, take it to Mecca. So he sent Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, go catch up with that last caravan with the Mecca. Get that Ethiopian woman because she got a note from Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a. I want you to retrieve that note for me. And Ali went, stopped the road with the caravan. Ali was in his early 20s. He rode up on a caravan and said, man, you got a note. And your plaits in your hair hidden. I need you to give it to me. She said, I ain't got no note. And he said to her, what about I just chop your head off and take the note myself? She said, oh yeah, I think I did got a note up here somewhere. But anyway, the Prophet went back to Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a after, because the note was just giving some information about the movements of the troops and so on. And he said, Ma hada ya Hatib? Well, what's up with this? Well, what's going on, man? He He said, Ya Rasulullah, it's not that I don't believe, but I believe. But I got family in Mecca, and I'm from a very small tribe. I'm from a small tribe. We don't have power, like Banu Hashim, other tribes. He said, so I'm thinking if I give them a little bit of information here and there, they won't harm my family. And that's cool. This, I'm with you though. So Umar said, let me cut off the head of this munafiq, Ya Rasulullah. Because Umar this treachery, we crook people for that. But the Prophet said, La Umar, la, innahu shahida Badra, because he was at Badr. He said, no, because he was at Badr. And we don't know if Allah said to everybody who was at Badr, do as you please, you are forgiven, because it was a high output mission. This is why, for the Muslim, you're better off, brothers and sisters, if you seek to be a high output believer. High output, meaning that you seek to do righteous deeds whenever you see the opportunity. You don't take the approach that, well, brother, you know what, I ain't gonna, I hear brothers saying that. It's not good. Because anytime Allah puts into your heart, you're not going to do something for His sake, you know He's just firing you, right? You're not doing Him a favor either way. But if He puts it to your heart that you don't want to do, and you're able to do, especially if you don't want to do because of this, because of that, because it's the Imam, because it's so-and-so. I don't like this. I don't like this person. I don't like that. That the brother said this to me. Do you realize you have such a weak argument with Allah about that? Because there's no argument there. So you don't want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take out of your heart the desire to strive in His path. Because the true believer has the iman. He's like Allah says in the Quran. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانَ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ وَكَرَهَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكُفْرَ وَالْفُسُوقَ وَالْعِصْيَانَ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الرَّاشِدُونَ. He says, but Allah has made faith beloved to you and made a beautiful thing in your heart. And He made dislike to you disbelief, corruption, and disobedience. So brothers, high output Islam is the way to go. And high output Islam is where you will find true righteousness. I'm telling you. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. If you don't feel the spirit of Islam in your heart, like that, you should wake up in the morning, man, I'm glad. What's up? Look at it, what's up? Thank you, Allah, I'm a Muslim. Thank you. That should be the feeling of the believer. If you ain't feeling that, do some high output stuff. The output ain't high. Ain't high enough. It don't matter. I'm not saying there's a million things for you to do. Faith has 70-something branches. The Prophet said, "Al-Imanu bid'ah wa sab'una shu'ba, a'laha qawlu la ilaha illallah, qawlu la ilaha illallah, wa annaha imatatu al-adha 'an al-tariq, wal haya'u shu'batun min al-iman." Faith has 70-something branches. The highest of which, the statement, "There's no God except Allah." The lowest of which is remove the injurious thing from the road. And bashfulness is a branch of faith. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل وإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله عظيما يذكركم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقيموا الصلاة.